Hello, good morning, and welcome to the latest edition of my podcast. This is relating to my book, Living with Mitochondria Against All Odds. My name's Ian, and welcome. This morning I'm going to be talking. Unfortunately, I haven't been doing much over the last few weeks, other than I've been to Liverpool once or twice to watch the football. I was quite glad yesterday when Mo Salah, there was a chance of him going to Saudi Arabia, but Mo Salah is actually staying at Liverpool, which is good. But I mean, even if he just stays another year, that'll be good. So we can sell him for an extortionate price to the Saudis. But yeah, anyway, that's by the by. But yeah, like I said, went to Liverpool once last weekend. It was really warm in the first half, and then by half time, I said to my friend, help me to the gents, and also we'll go and get a drink to cool off. But thankfully, in the second half, we were sat in the shade, so it worked out. But no, what I was going to talk to you today was I was going to talk to you about cycling. Back in about 2008, 2009, I was involved with this disability group. We were setting a centre of independence living up in York, which unfortunately since has folded, I believe. We went to look at these adapted bikes, and there was one particular bike that I got on with, which was a piggyback that attaches to a normal bike. So even now, I don't know how much longer I'll be able to use it. So I applied to some charities to help me out, which we got some funding. What it is, it's kind of a bike with stabilizers, which has an attachment that attaches to a normal bike. So then I'm attached to an able-bodied person, and then we can go wherever. It's great because I don't have to see where I'm going, and I can't see where I'm going, so so it works out. So that was about 2008, 2009. In From about 2010 for a year or so, we used to go to get cycling. Me and one of my PAs, Luke, we used to go to get cycling, and hire one of these bikes for a few hours at a time, and we go to places like Selby or Rickle and go and take fast and some sandwiches, and then have them, and then come back. And it was good. And then most recently, when Luke finished with me, I asked the Blind Society, and I had a volunteer for a few years. Nick, unfortunately, Nick's had to finish recently, but whether we'd go to Carlton, where Nick lives, between York and Tad, or whether we'd go to Selby or Rickle or Benningborough Hall, and we'd just go so far, have a coffee, and then come back. And certainly one of the times when Luke was working with me, we cycled out towards Easingwold, and we camped out at this campsite at Easingwold. I think Luke had just been on a family holiday with his girlfriend and his sister, and he'd used an open fire, or he'd built like an open fire, so he was quite into that. So we hired some wood well, we hired some wood. We paid to use some of their wood, and they had like a stove that we could, a fireplace that we could use. So we did that, and we as I say, we cycled up in the Friday, and then we camped. We had a drink, went to the pub, had a pint, had a drink, and then Luke went and got some chips. We sorted the camp out, and then we camped out, and then we came back on the Saturday. And the first couple of years I did the triathlon. I took my own bike down to attach. I think it was Sarah that did it with me. That works for the JST. If you've read the book, you'll know all about Sarah, or if you've heard any of my other podcasts, I speak about Sarah doing the triathlon with us. Yeah. Where am I? Yeah, the triathlon, and so yeah. Other than the first 2 years, we've hired bikes from the place, yeah, it's been really good. And I did a thing called the 3C Challenge in about 2016, where I canoed the whole of the river. I had help with one of my friends that helped me most weeks at canoeing. We paddled the whole river, and Connor, who was a member of the canoe club at the time and also one of my helpers, canoed the whole river with us, and then we camped out. Then we had a drink in the cafe, and then we had a drink and some food in the cafe. Then we cycled out to the same campsite at Easingwold that me and Luke did a few years before, and then we camped out, and then we came back. Yeah, as long as I've got someone to cycle with me, using this bike is great, and yeah, I use a place, as I say, the place Get Cycling manufactured it, and I've got one with separate gears on, because you can get the piggyback cycle that is independent, but mine has separate gears on, and it contributes to the whole pedaling of the bikes. I sometimes get dog walkers walking alongside saying they try and grasp me up and say he's not cycling, but I do always try and contribute to the motion of the bike. But yeah, and all of this is in my book, Living with Mitochondria Against All Odds, which is available on Amazon to download, and everything else. Yeah, so hopefully I'll be back in the next couple of weeks, and to tell you of new adventures or adventures in the book that we haven't covered already. And I look forward to speaking to you then. Anyway, bye for now. Goodbye.